Straight from South Africa. This is the strange and mysterious world with your hosts, Lee Strademan and William Collinson.
And welcome to Strange and Mysterious Worlds. This is Season 1, Episode 13. And today's discussion, we are going to be doing some prophecies for 2024. And we've got quite a few coming up with regards to even The Simpsons. You know, The Simpsons had prophecies. Well,
yeah, it's funny because a lot of the stuff that The Simpsons said, like in their shows and that stuff came true. But you wonder, is it, because they have to put out so much episodes, obviously the amounts of stuff they're saying, obviously some of the stuff's gonna like the luck of the draw, what do you call it, the coincidence.
But the problem is with it, but it's too coincidental. So like with Donald Trump coming in on the specific year, and they had it years before. I mean, it's very specific, eh?
Wow.
It's not like Nostradamus, which we'll do first, where most of his prophecies are actually open to interpretation. You know what I mean? It's not specific dates. It's not specific on people. It's open to anything. Anybody can read anything into it.
Yeah, but that's what's, because when you said you were going to do this podcast, I went and Googled predictions or prophecies or psychic readings for 2024, and all of them say there's going to be natural disasters, earthquakes and floods and strong winds or hurricanes, whatever. And I'm reading this, I'm like, that's every year. Every year there's an earthquake somewhere around.
Yeah.
Every single year there's a flood. I mean, there's a flood every single year in South Africa, never mind around the world. There's a flood, there's a wind and everywhere around the world. I mean, somewhere around the world every year. So it's exactly one of those psychics that rip you off, where they just come and they go I see you're gonna have a shower,
love in your life sometime in the future,
have a shower or a bath, and you will, and I see you're gonna eat food sometime.
Sometime in the next 24 hours.
Anyway.
So I predict this year, we got to get a lot of sun, a lot of rain. There's got to be some storms.
There we go. Prophecy. Geez. You're going to start making, people are going to be phoning you off the hook, man. Make you money. All the best.
Okay, cool. So our first up is going to be Michel de Nostradame. Everybody knows him as Nostradamus. He was born in 1503 in Saint-Rémy in France. And he was actually a physician, pharmacist, astrologer, and seer. But the seer section only came in later on in his life. I think he was towards the end of his life when that started happening. He wrote that book called Les Prophecies, which is obviously the Prophecies, which was in 1555. And then he died in 1566 of edema, which was came about by gout. Now, gout, obviously one of the main causes is too much drinking alcohol. So I'm wondering if maybe he was potting so much alcohol that he was getting these prophecies. He was getting these prophecies from too much alcohol. I don't know.
I don't know. I was an alcoholic for many years, and
did you get any visions?
That's also what irritates me. When people say, when somebody they come up and they say I saw this crazy thing. There was a thing in the sky and it was bright and whatever they've described it like a fantastic UFO sighting or a ghost thing, whatever. And they people are yeah, you must be drinking, or what are you drinking, and I'm like, keepers. I was an alcoholic for 20 years, and I never saw any cool stuff. I don't know, maybe I wasn't drinking. I was drinking some pretty strong stuff, but I never saw any. I don't that description. Whenever they blame it, they want to say it's because you were drinking. I'm like, that is the stupidest
excuse
or whatever. Because I don't know. I've never seen any. I had never had any even hallucinations drinking. So I don't know where how can
Maybe they're also smoking weed at the same time.
Jeez.
Anyway, so this book that he wrote had 942 poetic quatrains. Now, for the listeners who don't know what quatrains is, quatrain basically means 4-line stanza. It's a poem, like a poetic poem, so 4 lines. But like I was saying earlier, everything that he was writing just could have been open to any year, to any decade, to any. So I'll give you an example of one of them. Combat and naval battle, the red adversary will become pale with fear, put in the great ocean in dread. Okay, so now what the hell does that mean? I mean, there's nothing specific. So what a lot of people have said about that is they've said, okay, the Red Army is probably China for today's, because this comes up in 2024 for today's times, China or Russia. That's the Red Army. Okay, but there's been a Red Army for how many thousand years?
What about the rednecks? We, as Englishmen in South Africa, still called the rednecks from the.
Yeah, exactly. And the British used to wear red back in the day. So they also were Red Army. So, but anyway, apparently that is to do with the up and coming war with China and Russia, China and or Russia or both. So that's the one. The other thing he's mentioned, something called it's a quatrain that reads: "The dry earth will grow more parched, and there will be great floods. When it is seen, when this is seen. So there'll be great floods when the parched has been seen. But I mean, how long has Ethiopia been in almost like a parched state, same as the Sahara, the deserts? I mean, how long has it been going on like that? I mean, currently, yes, we've got massive floods, which is actually one of the other things that will come up now. We've got massive floods that have been happening throughout the world, as you said, for many, many years going on now. We've had droughts for many, many years going on. So there's nothing new that's coming through from Nostradamus. Okay, there are from other people, but not from Nostradamus. The next one is, he goes on for 2024. It says the king of the isles will be driven out by force by one who will have no mark of the king. So what people are reading into that for this year is that King Charles III will be bombed from his position. He'll get forced out. And they're all saying not Prince, what's the younger son? Prince Harry. Prince Harry is going to take over the throne. But that doesn't make sense, because it says the one will have no mark of a king. So he's still in line, even though his brother's in line first, William. Harry's in line second. So that doesn't make sense. You know what I'm saying? So either it says that this guy's going to lose his crown by somebody who's completely out of the royal family and will be taking over. So that's what that sounds like to me. That doesn't sound like it's going to be Prince William or Prince Harry.
And is this for 2024?
This is for 2024, yeah.
So when
So we
can write and stuff, did he write down like every year, like this is what's going to happen in this year?
No, you see this is the problem. So there's no specific dates. These ones that have come through now are about people that have done the research and they're saying, okay, no, this is what we expect for 2024. There is something that's come through here that says, through the death of a very old pontiff, so obviously that's the Pope, a Roman of good age will be elected. Of him will be said that he weakens the sea, but long will be his seat in the biting activity. So basically what they're saying is, this year the old pontiff is going to hit the bucket, and there's going to be a younger guy taking over who's going to rule for a long time. Weakens the sea. No one understands what that means. It probably just means that either the Catholic Church is going to take a massive back seat as to where it is now, so it might lose a lot of patrons, a lot of believers. So the people are unsure about that. Another one for 2024, he says, the sloping park, great calamity through the lands of the west and Lombardy, the fire in the ship, plaguing captivity, Mercury and Sagittarius, Saturn fading. So basically what they're saying there is the sloping park is a earthquake, great calamity through the lands of the west and Lombardy. Now Lombardy is in Italy, but everybody seems to be taking this as there's going to be a massive earthquake in California. So if you hear everybody that says, oh no, there's going to be a massive earthquake, it's going to be in California. Lombardy is in Italy. So if you read the quatrain properly, it's actually in Italy. So there's probably going to be a flooding or massive earthquake massive earthquake in Italy this year. So we'll have to wait and see if that comes true. Then this is my favorite one. The Antichrist annihilates the three. 27 years this war will last. The unbelievers will be dead, captured, or exiled. The earth will be covered in blood, bodies, and red hail. Okay, that one's quite interesting because that sounds like it's World War III. Annihilates the three, no one understands that.
2024. So it
Yeah,
starts off with
2020,
like, yeah,
2024.
It's going to be like an earthquake there and a little bit of a flood there. And then it's going to be the end of the world.
Yeah, basically. So where it says the Antichrist annihilates the three, so that basically means, according to the people that have said that this is for 2024, the Antichrist is already around. Annihilates the three. No one understands what that means. Annihilates the three could be America, Australia, and UK because they're the biggest alliance, or it could mean the three religions, the Abrahamic religions, which would be Christianity, Judaism, and Muslim. So that might be a case where they get rid of, where that becomes a secondary and there's a new religion that comes through that people start believing in. For me, that makes a little bit more sense with the advent of a new religion. I don't know. We have to see what happens.
That's
Now,
2024. That's quite a big one, huh?
Yeah. So that's why I said that for me was the most interesting one of his. But again, it's open to interpretation. So that's what
Rain's red hail.
Yeah, rain's red hail, bodies all over the place, and it makes me think maybe the war between the three religions will become quite a big thing, and something else will come in and take over.
What about like Ukraine and Israel, and maybe another war will come up? And
yeah, because I mean that war's becoming a stalemate. That one. That bloody Ukrainian and Russian war is becoming a stalemate. There might be something coming through from Russia on Taiwan. That's a possibility because, not Russia, sorry, China and Taiwan. That might be a possibility because that's been ongoing and brewing for quite some time. So that might come to a head. But anyway, now on to. So this is quite interesting. They reckon that Trump will win the election. This new up and coming election.
Simpsons.
Trump is going to win the election. Yeah, the Simpsons.
So which episode was this? Was it like when? I don't even know if they've.
No. This is going back some years.
This is years ago. They said 2024.
Yes, 2024. There's actually mention of 2024 that Trump will win the election in this one.
Jeez, that's cool. I'm not saying like I don't want to bring up a political thing. I'm not saying like it's cool that Trump wins or whatever.
No, but
I'm just saying like it's pretty
cool that they're saying
it. That, and if it actually happens,
yeah,
amazing that it happens.
They also
said it happens. I'm not saying it's amazing that Trump wins. So people,
hey, I don't mind. I don't mind if he wins. He's better than that dude that's there now.
That's for sure.
Anyway, another virus is coming, and this could cause cannibalism.
So this is the Simpsons, right?
Whatever.
Are we still on the Simpsons?
Yeah, this is the Simpsons. The Simpsons, dude. Yeah. So there's another virus that's coming for this year that causes cannibalism. So whatever these people get, it makes them eat human flesh. That's in the Simpsons.
How the Who are gonna what vaccine they're gonna?
We're gonna have to check this one out.
Maybe it's from the vaccine that we've been given. We're all gonna just like it's all gonna kick in that. The Who's gonna turn on that switch that like activates the DNA, the virus. What's it called? The vaccine that's in us, and we're just gonna go berserk and start eating each other.
It's funny that you say that, dude. I actually thought that exact thing. You're getting close there. Anyway, then next one is the AI will start taking jobs, and millions of people will lose their jobs. The rise of AI, artificial intelligence.
So when did they predict?
Look, it has been rising. It has been rising over the past few years, but I think this is going to be a major.
Sure. They say they're on the cusp of cracking it, or the whole AI like freak out that everyone's going nuts about. They say they're on the cusp, or maybe they have it already and they're just trying to know how to release it. I don't know. Whatever.
Yeah.
But so when did
there's got to be a sorry.
On the Simpsons, when did they predict this?
This is all 2024, dude, and these are years ago.
When did they predict it? Was it like?
I can't tell you which episodes. I wouldn't be able to do. I wouldn't be able to tell you, but it's some years back. It's not. Probably around about 2016, 2017, around about there.
Oh, okay. So I mean,
It's not any time recent. It's quite old.
okay.
A major power outage is coming to America. Major power outage. For South Africa, it's okay. We keep getting it. That's a constant thing. So for us, it's
About 3
normal.
times a day.
Yeah, 3 times for 8 hours. So basically out the whole day. All right, cool. So now so that's the power, the major power outage in the USA. Then they talk about economic collapse for America and for most of the world. There's a massive economic collapse. How that comes about doesn't say, just says there's a massive economic collapse. And then a very interesting thing, my favorite, aliens in the government.
Nice.
So there's one episode where Homer actually runs down the steps of the White House. There's two guys that are busy, two government guys that are busy giving a speech, and he pulls their heads off and they are aliens underneath. So it's representing aliens in the government for 2024, dude. Now, this is interesting because you'll see later on in other predictions from other people that talk about aliens in 2024. So that's quite interesting. And that's it for The Simpsons for 2024. Then we move across to Bulgaria. There was a lady by the name of Baba Vanga. I don't know if you've ever heard of her. She was a healer and seer. She was born in 1911. She was a blind woman.
Oh, yes, I've heard about
I
it.
don't know if you've, yeah. So she had some predictions for 2024, to be specific. She said there will be a breakthrough in quantum computing. Now, I don't know what the hell they knew about in 1911 in quantum computing.
What about
but anyway,
name even? How does she come up with quantum? I mean,
yeah, exactly. Because that's only been recent stuff, man, like the last 10, 15 years. She died in 1996, okay, but I don't think quantum computing was very much spoken about in those times.
Even in her language.
So, she also says global economic crisis. So the Simpsons might have been borrowing a little bit from her there in that one. She says global economic crisis.
Yeah.
There will be a massive global disease.
So maybe she was 2 years too, like 2 years too late.
No, this is a new disease. And I was thinking when you were mentioning earlier, this is from the vaccine, probably. It's causing something else because it wasn't tested properly.
Or Bill Gates and the cronies.
Sorry for you, Will.
No, geez, I gotta.
Sorry for you, buddy.
just
keep an eye on it. There's an alliance with Russia and China in this year. There's an alliance between the two. Rise of AI. She also says it. Rise of artificial intelligence. Same as The Simpsons. So I'm assuming The Simpsons actually borrowed this from her. There will be an interaction with aliens.
She also
in
says
2024.
You know what? Look, if she borrowed it from it or not. What I like to do usually is when I want some advice on something. I won't just go see one psychic. I'll go see like 3 or 4 psychics, and then I see, okay, because like a lot of the stuff psychics tell you is like doesn't happen, or it's like they, I don't know, the way that they the information came to them, they misinterpreted or whatever, so it doesn't. They mix it with their own life experiences or whatever. So the message doesn't come through strong. Like, so I usually go see 3 or 4, and then I see the things that are the same between all 4, and I just throw away all the rest.
Yeah.
I go like, okay, well maybe those things are true because like 4 of them said exactly the same thing. So that's cool that there's like stuff correlating from The Simpsons to her. I hope you got
similarities.
That can.
There's a few more. Okay. So there's a rise of natural disasters and a tsunami will hit Asia.
Jeez, okay. Not Cape Town.
A major earthquake in the Pacific. No, not Cape Town, not yet.
Okay, great.
A major earthquake in the Pacific. I think that's already happened because we know that Japan got whacked on the 1st of January. Got hit by quite a massive earthquake. I think it was a 7.5 on the scale.
Jeez.
Yeah, so I think that's already happened. Chaos in Europe, collapse of economy. That there is, so she's also said there's a massive thing that's going on in Europe. Rise of cyber attacks for this year. Okay. And then heavy financial issues. The banking, the banking, there's going to be massive problems with the banks. And she reckons there's going to be global powers changing. So whether it's Putin that's going to be out of the picture, somebody else is going to be taking over, there's going to be a lot of shifting globally on the powers.
So yeah,
Yeah.
so I mean that's why like everyone talks about the end of the world. So that's probably be the end of the world, and we have to make a new one with all the economic crisis and stuff.
Yeah. And then there's a guy by the name of Craig Hamilton Parker. He's a British guy. He's on YouTube quite a lot, and he's got quite a bit to say about what's going on in the world for 2024. But one of the things that I find interesting is he's got two things to say about South Africa. So for our South African listeners, the first thing is he says the ANC will not win the election. Woohoo!
Oh my gosh.
Okay, he says the ANC will not win the election. He says he saw that come through. And as opposed to the rest of the world where the economy is pretty bad, he says that the South African economy
mixed with economy. Is that a funny
yeah. He says the South African economy is looking good as opposed to the rest of the world. But yeah, so he's got predictions. But the thing is, as well, is he also says the Pope will change. The Pope there's going to be a new Pope.
Is he become a transvestite, or is he going to? What does he mean?
No. The Pope's out. The one that's in there is gone,
okay.
And there's a new guy that's coming in. Okay, so now that's the third person that said that there's going to be a change in the Pope.
Okay.
Yeah.
Tell us something that's really gonna juicy, or that's gonna affect us really badly.
Joe Biden is going to be booted from his position due to apparently ill health.
Okay.
Edwin Snowden and Julian Assange will be forgiven. They'll come through, and the American government will say everything is forgiven. You can come back home.
Oh, that's cool. Gee.
Yeah. Okay, that's this year. Massive blackouts. So that's another one. That's another one that's similar. He said there's massive blackouts around America. He also says Trump will win the vote this year. And it's due to the black vote. The black people are going to vote for him, and it's due to that will actually make him win.
Wow.
There's going to be also an increase in immigration in America and in Europe, but apparently in Europe, the English guys are going to send the Oaks back. So everybody that's coming from France, they're going to get booted back to France.
Okay.
They're going to tune. No, thanks. There you go back.
Africa.
Yeah, coming from Africa, they're saying, no, cheers. Back to France, and then back from France, back to Africa. But there was something that was quite interesting. I was trying to remember, he was talking about, this whole woke thing that's going around in Hollywood in America. Apparently there's going to be a massive backlash. There's like a new rising that's going to be against this whole woke thing.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's gone so far the one way. The pension's going to come back. So, I mean, obviously everyone's going crazy to try and correct it to make it normal again. It's like so crazy. I mean, geez, you hear what those guys say sometimes.
Yeah.
And you know what's so 100%. Funny? The woke movement, because it used to be about it was for black people. Like, it was about
correct.
It started like that. It was good, Yeah. If it was against racism, that's great. But jeepers, it just went fucking berserk. It just went like and that's what's so shit is when it's like something for a good cause, and then all of the other people jump on it and just fucking destroy it for like actually the great thing that it was actually meant to be.
100%. And I mean, how? Okay, this is a whole new topic, but how bloody men can identify as a woman and take part in women's sports? I mean, come on, man. What are we living in?
No,
we've actually, funny enough, we've been discussing these things in the last bloody, and the hermeticism and that. It says male, female. There cannot be anything else. But anyway, that's another discussion.
I mean, get your own category. That's so funny. Like I was talking because the lady that I'm staying with here in Joburg, she used to be Miss South Africa.
Yeah.
She was Miss South Africa in 1982, and she. And like, you see on the front cover of the magazine, it says like, a transvestite person, it's like woman of the year, and it's like actually a guy. And I'm like, shame, doesn't this like make woman upset? Because if I was a woman and there was a dude on the cover saying that's the woman of the year, as a female, I'd be irritated. I'd be like, that's so like what do you call it? Like, it's like
it's disrespectful. It's heavily disrespectful.
I'd be so irritated. Like,
but who they're asking? So, I mean, if this transvestite is becoming woman of the year, who do they actually ask? Because I can guarantee you 99% of the guys of men would not have voted for that. So and I can guarantee you 100% of the women wouldn't have voted for that. So who actually determined that?
Yeah, exactly.
That makes no sense. That makes no sense. I mean,
also,
how?
And it's one UFC fighter that was the man, and then he's a woman.
Oh, she's yeah,
He's just
shame
fucking
us.
up all the
Yeah,
chicks, just fucking them up. I'm saying, like, just make another category for those people. Just like,
yeah,
just
yeah.
you can have a
If
man
they
and a
want to
woman,
identify,
and
that's cool.
then
But
just have another, and with all the sports. I mean, you can't have like a woman or winning all the races now with the swimming, because it's actually a dude, but he's like a woman. And I mean, just have another category for those guys or girls or whatever things, pronoun people. Just have the boys, the girls, and the pronouns. Have another race
yeah,
for them.
100%. Yeah, cool. Then he mentions there's going to be a massive disease in New York, something like TB, and that's due to homelessness, apparently. So there's going to be quite an outbreak of something in New York. He thinks it's probably going to be TB, and he also mentions a massive flood in Chicago.
Oh, wow.
He says Chicago, there's going to be a flood. He reckons there's going to be banking issues, and that's due to Chinese AI, artificial intelligence.
Oh, wow.
So the Chinese AI is going to somehow interfere with the banking issues there in America.
Maybe that TB thing he's talking about is actually going to be the new virus that the Simpsons said, and also the blind lady. What was her name?
Baba Vanga.
Avanga. Maybe that's
Yeah.
says interprets whatever data he's getting. He interprets it as that. Maybe that's the new virus.
Correct. Yeah, maybe. Apparently, there's a mission to the moon with a woman this year. They're going to land on the moon, and there's going to be, for the first time, a lady that's going to be on the moon.
Transvestite, eh? Woman.
No. Proper full-on woman.
Nothing.
Not a halfie.
With mascara on, eh?
No. And apparently, there's going to be.
I don't know. You gotta just use your discretion. Or you get
No, leave it in, man. Fuck it. And that apparently something they're going to find on the moon that's going to question everything. And this whole alien thing is going to come to the forefront.
Man,
People are going to have to try and explain what they've seen on the moon.
Because I mean, I promise you, if that comes to the front, the alien agenda, if it's actually like fully and totally disclosed, I mean, spirituality will just go through the roof. We'll all awaken to to everything.
But that may be the thing that they're talking about, where the major three religions will take a dive and something new will come through. So that might be the new thing that's coming through.
Yeah, well, jeez, let's hope.
Right? Apparently the Olympics are this year.
Okay.
If I'm right, because it says there.
Really happening.
Yeah, no. So he reckons there's going to be a terror attack in Montreal, and I think Montreal is where the Olympics are being held this year. So he reckons there's a terror attack there. There's got to be a new oil field found in Canada. Oh, and he says to people, don't go to London. London's going to flood.
Oh,
okay. So that's pretty interesting.
That's gonna happen.
Then Europe will close its borders to all the Palestinians that are busy getting chased from Gaza. So the whole of Europe will close their borders. They won't allow the Palestinians to come in.
Oh,
all right. And he also sees that that Gaza is just going to be rubble. There's going to be nothing left.
Jeez,
and he's actually said that Putin is to die this year.
I mean, did he get the jab? Did he get the vaccine? He might just have a heart attack.
Yeah, he had the vaccine done a couple of years ago, so it's going to catch up with him now. Yeah, so Putin's to die, but the guy that's taking over.
Maybe he get that cannibal disease, and like his staff will eat him or something.
Maybe. Or he maybe chars somebody that's got some other disease, and he then falls prey to whatever it is he's eating. You know, no, we're just talking.
I can't wait to see what happens.
Yeah, but the new guy that's taken over from him apparently is as bad as he is, and they got to continue with the wars and all the rest of it. But saying that going into the future, into a couple of years, there is going to be a woman that's going to be running Russia, proper woman.
Yeah,
woman. Not guy woman, woman. And it will start calming off. It will start calming down everything that's happening in Russia currently. So that's eventual. That's what's coming.
Wait, that can't happen
Uh,
over a year. Is that like over a few years? Is that what?
No, but that's quite soon. I think that's probably next year or the year after.
So, wait,
With
so
the
two
women
guys,
taking over.
another guy comes in, and then a lady comes in. That's in 2 years.
Yeah. So
2 years.
yeah, correct. So Putin's out this year. The new guy takes over, and I think the lady takes over within the next year or two. She's in,
Cool.
which I think would actually be quite a good thing. China is to take a massive knock on the economy. China. So don't invest in China currently. He reckons that the Nile's going to flood, and then Italy's going to have an earthquake. The same as what Nostradamus predicted. He's saying the same thing.
Yep.
Yeah. So now, a new pope. He says there's got to be a new pope as well.
Okay.
And those are the predictions for 2024. So what we're going to do in December, towards the end of December, we are going to check to see how much of these predictions actually came true and how much of them were actually bullshit. But the funny thing is, these guys, these psychics, they always say, they might not come true because we all have free will and we're able to change the outcome of things. It's possible. But that's also a way of getting out of saying, hey, man, I see America bombing Russia in June. And then they don't. He says, no, they avoided it because they kind of set down that agreement. So,
but I mean, for our listeners, like we did an episode on Third Eye Awakening. If you go back and listen to it, remember when I was telling you about those when I was having those precognition things, and it really made me.
Yeah.
I mean, I would sit there for 15 minutes trying to book a Airbnb, and then like I'd get to the Airbnb,
yes.
the thing that I saw in my precognition thing, and it made me think like, okay, well, how much free will do you really have? Because it was that whole 15 minutes of indecisiveness trying to choose this place, and I get there and it's what I was going to end up anyway.
You were going anyway.
So, I didn't listen to that one. You must go back and listen to that one.
Yeah. So tell me now, strangely though, I've had some visions come through. And one of the visions that I have, and I'm being honest, this is not bullshit. Yeah. So I was up I had footage almost looking down on a city, and the city was smoke filled. The windows were blown out, cars were upside down, the skies were red. It almost reminded me of blood. And I don't know, that's the vision that kind of crept up not too long ago. I was seeing this popping up in my head.
Yeah, so like I mean, since we've been doing this gateway experience thing, my dreams are becoming extremely vivid. Like, I mean, so vivid. There's two different kind of dream stages I've been having. Was like the kind of the out of body experiences, but as I said, I keep on saying in previous episodes, they're not like what you read in the literature where it's like so real that it's realer than real and it's like life changing. It's just like a very vivid dream. It's like and I'm flying and I feel like I do come out of my body and that, but then I've been having like my normal dream state, which I'm like used to, is becoming even more vivid, like really vivid. It's quite cool. Well, actually, I had a really strange dream the other night, and it was quite disturbing. But I've had two since the beginning of the year, two tsunami dreams, where like there's a tsunami coming. I'm on the beach and I'm like running and trying to get away from it, and like getting up to a high building and then the second one I had was actually quite interesting because we were warned about it. I wasn't on the beach this time, we were warned, and then we were trying to get away in the car, and then they'd actually blocked everybody from getting out. No one could actually get out. It was like they wanted us to like get flooded or whatever. But then the thing is, I always wake up before the flood actually happens, and then I realize it's a dream, and then I'm like, oh my gosh, I want to see what happens, and I try to go to bed to try and see what happens in the dream, but then I can't, and then I go back to the thing, but then it's like I'm there waiting for the tsunami to come, and it never comes.
Did you kind of have a feeling of where it was? Maybe
I wasn't
Cape Town. Having your dreams.
Well, Cape Town. It's funny. It feels like it was like somewhere near like Cape Town, but it wasn't really. Like the buildings didn't look the same. It was it was very surreal. I mean, yeah, I actually don't know really where it was. Yeah.
All right. So then those are the predictions for 2024. Cool. We're gonna have to now just monitor these things. I know already we've like we've said earlier, there's been the earthquake in Japan. But again, like you were saying, I mean, earthquakes happen every year, tsunamis happen every year. So there's a lot of stuff that's people are putting off to prophecies, but it's stuff that happens continuously. So, but who knows? So Japan's already happened. That was on the 1st of Jan. So it kicked off with a bang. So let's have a look. I think it's going to be a very interesting year. And my interest is specifically in this whole alien agenda, the whole alien thing.
Yeah, me too.
I'm so keen to see what comes from that because, I mean, there's a lot of people that have been talking about the whole alien thing. I mean, if something does happen from that, oh man, I can't tell you how I've been waiting for so many years for that stuff to come through and for us to finally get the nod and say, yes, okay, this is it. This is what we have and this is where we are.
No, but then it could be the whole Stephen Greer crew with their
CE5.
No, like, there's their things. It's actually going to be like a fake alien invasion. So,
I have heard of that. I've heard of that.
But who knows? Maybe it's a real one, maybe it's a fake one. I hope it's a real one. Even if it's a fake one, it'd be pretty fucking cool.
Yeah, well, the fake one apparently is supposed to bring on the next world war because that's a red flag thing. So the whole fake thing is supposed to be like a holographic.
Yeah, so it's like the new 9/11
attack from the aliens.
The new war and what do you call it? The new, like the government's always coming up with a new way to take control, take like the 9/11, the COVID, and then the next thing's the alien invasion or what was it? The other one was the hole in the ozone layer was going to fry us. It's supposed to fry us like 20 years ago. We were supposed to be fried, and the levels were supposed to be. So it's like these new like narratives of fear and whatever. So this is supposed to be the new one of the alien invasion, which Von Braun, that rocket guy that came over from Paperclip, one of the
Germany, the German guy, Werner von Braun.
Werner von Braun. So on his deathbed, he actually said, there's going to be a fake asteroid thing, then there's going to be a fake war on terrorism, and then there's going to be a fake alien war. Going to be all bullshit. And he said on his deathbed, and he told that we're going to try and maybe get some credibility on that. But well, I don't know about the asteroid thing, but the war on terrorism happened, and now it's just I think he said war on asteroid thing, but maybe he could have said something else. I'll have to just check that out. But anyway, also just talking about prophecies and whatever, like the whole, everyone thinks it's the end of the world now coming up because of it's fulfilling all the things of Revelation. But the thing is, like on my because I'm making a documentary basically about this now, but the Revelation is like that's what happens in Revelation, that actually kind of just repeats itself every 20 years or 30 years or something. I mean, all of those things, I mean, everybody thinks like, no, okay, well, this is definitely the end of time. Look at how the world's so crazy and how the wars are happening, and there's famines, and there's COVID, it's a plague, like those are all like things in Revelation. So it's definitely the end of times now. But I mean, if you think about it, there was like what happens when it was like the Vietnam War. I mean, like how crazy was the world then? I mean, like in the 60s, there was all of that. The feminist thing was happening, the Black Panthers, there was a huge war. I mean, like things were going nuts then. And like that's, I mean, in the 1920s with the whole Spanish flu thing, I mean, that was a huge virus that came around. And like, I mean, imagine people in World War II, when World War II was going on, people must have been going like, damn, this is definitely end times. I mean, look how crazy the world is now. So it's just like, it just keeps on. And the thing is also because we've got social media now that the stuff can get so over exaggerated, can get really, or not just over exaggerated, can get really people so hyped up and pissed off and like crazy, like, and stuff just circulates quicker and just heightens stuff and whatever. So I just think like, that it's, well, who knows? Maybe it is the end. And,
yeah, no, I think you're right though, because every generation seems to think they're the last generation. You know what I mean? That this is it, and they're going to see it.
Yeah, but in all the new ages and that are all going like, no, it's the fifth dimension. It's not the end of the world. It's the end of the old world. We're going to the new world. Transcending to the fifth dimension or the Shabala or whatever. But it's going to be interesting. Yeah. Can't wait to see what happens.
Look, I do think there's a massive global awakening of spirituality, if you want to call it that. Yes, there's a massive global awakening because it's not, if you go back in the 80s and you you talk about this stuff, that people would kind of say, no, man, you're going nuts, you're mad, there's no such things. But now I think there's a huge movement to awakening.
No,
But I think the problem is that some of the people have moved to the wrong direction on the awakening.
Yeah,
and
no, but I
this
mean,
other crap.
yeah, but I mean, I see it in myself. I mean, I see it in myself. That's how I gauge it. I mean, like that's how I definitely believe that there's something massive happening with the whole consciousness shift. But as they say, like, when your mind becomes open, you got to be careful what you put into it.
100%. Because you must remember, we're creators of everything that happens around us. So whatever comes into your mind, I think this is also one of the things where they talk in the Bible. They say, be careful what you think, because the things that you think could be sinful. And it's not that you're thinking, oh, I'd like to sleep with this one or that one. It's not that. It's the things that you think about can create reality.
Yeah.
And that reality is sinful. So like then it takes tulpa forms that the Tibetans like to talk about, where you create these actual entities, but that's all thought forms. So you've got to be careful what you think about all the time. You've got to be very careful what you think about.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, you might be so angry at one stage that you think about, this person that you're angry with, you're just thinking, and I know somebody in your life that you kind of probably think about that now, but you're thinking, yes, I just like to kill this person. And that unfortunately could create a negative tulpa, and, you could end up cursing that person. But the problem is the karma comes back to you. The karmic stuff will come on you and not on that person. So we just got to be careful what we're thinking, because we are creators. We create everything that happens in our lives.
Yeah. And maybe that thought's already happening while you're thinking it is actually in another parallel dimension, and that's actually what you're going through and doing. But it's in a parallel. I mean, there's so many different things we can go into with that. For those
another whole podcast. We'll do a podcast on tulpa forms and thought forms, because I think that's interesting.
Yeah.
I think that's very interesting. But yeah, man, that's it. But I think it's a bit of a short one for tonight. But yeah, cool, man. I think with the prophecies for 2024, we will definitely keep an eye open for that. And we will tick them off the list as we go along. I've got the stuff written in my book, so we'll tick them off as we go, if any of them happened. And then at the end of 2024, we will come back and we will discuss what of them actually did come true.
And
so let's hope some of them, let's hope not some of them.
The red hail. What is it? The red fiery hail. What is the guy? If it takes one of us out, when we, then we'll just takes me out, Lee. You'll have to cover and just, tell the guys this is what actually happened. If it takes you out,
I'll do a podcast with you, with your spirit.
Yeah, or just a picture of me there or something.
No, I'll go into the astral world, and we can have a podcast from there. But it's fine.
Okay, cool. We got the app. Have you got?
Because hopefully we've moved on from our gateway experience. We've been able to get a little bit further into talking about that. I've been doing the Muse, that Muse headband.
Yes, yeah.
So I've been doing that like every night, and it's quite cool because it's showing me it's showing you where you are actually start into that meditative state. So I'm going to stop that for now, and then I want to go back onto the gateway experience, because I felt that I had a little bit more moving forward than what I have with the Muse. Although the Muse is a cool thing, I think I'll only do that maybe once a week, where the gateway thing I'm going to do more.
You got to have consistency, whatever you do. Otherwise, there's no point. But you should just make a meditation practice. You should do both of them. You should meditate for at least 20, 30 minutes a day, and then also do the gateway. So I don't want to be preaching, but
I find after 15 minutes, I'll fall asleep.
Like I say, when you go to gym, you can't just go to the gym once a week and pick up weights, so you're going to get nowhere.
No, but I think after 15 minutes of meditating, I'm asleep, dude. I'm like tossing. And that's sitting up in a chair. That's not even cross-legged anymore. I've stopped doing that. Cool, man. Lekker. Well, thank you for joining us again this evening. And thanks to all our listeners out there. Obviously, you can catch us we've changed our logo now, so you'll see our new logo on Podbean and Apple Podcasts and Google Podcasts and all the other podcasts that you can find us on. Anything that's got podcasts in it, you'll find us there. Please support, like, and follow if you can. It's much appreciated, guys. And we'll then chat to you next week. Thanks for span, man. Cheers.
Thanks, guys. Bye.